all righty. I welcome you back once again to Pastor B's Kitchen Table. As you know, this is the place we break it down, chop it up, and put it back together again. And we're so blessed to have a guest with us today, a brother you've seen about a year ago. This is a financial guru we have here with us today, and I'm just pleased to be able to get him and bring him in. Will you say hello and say who you are?
How you doing? My name is Shaughn Thomas. I'm an educator. I teach 7th grade math, and also I have a company, a program called Investing in Yourself that focuses on financial literacy, specifically with the middle schools and high school. So we help with adults as well.
Okay. So Shaughn, tell us, what have you been up to lately?
Well, lately, you know, like I said, I'm an educator, so we've been dealing with the whole COVID, you know, through online distant learning. So that's been an adjustment in itself. You know, kids are dealing with a lot. We're trying to get used to it. So that's been, you know, it's been fun, you know, challenging, but at the same time fun trying to figure out how to get things done. So we actually coming to a close. We have about 2 more weeks left for school, and then we go from summer, then hopefully we figure out from there. But also what I've been doing is, like I have the after school program called Investing in Yourself. And usually what we do every year, we have like a stock market workshop where we, my students actually teach the adults how to invest in the stock market. And unfortunately, we couldn't do it this year because of the COVID and we weren't in school. But I wanted to go ahead and say, let's just, you know, do something else anyway. So I did Investing in Yourself webinars. So I had professionals from real estate, finance, from credit scores to anything that you could possibly think of dealing with actually financial literacy or finances. And then also I started a series. I had a goal. I started April 7th where I wanted to educate 1,000 Black and brown households how to invest in the stock market, at least educate them how to do so.
Say that again,
Shaughn. Do this by the summer.
Say that again, please.
Yeah, okay.
We need to hear that.
Okay, so what I wanted to do was, you know, we did all the different webinars, but also what I wanted to do was educate our Black and brown households, our minority households on just understanding the stock market and actually going ahead and starting to invest. So April 7th was my first, you know, class for the initiative that I had this summer, and I wanted to do 1,000 before August, educate 1,000 households. So I kept putting on different webinars. So far, since April 7th, we had over 650 households attend the webinars. So we're on track to hit that 1,000 by the end of June. So that's the impact, and that's what I wanted to do, encourage our people to at least know how to get in the game, and then, you know, kind of let their money work for them.
That's awesome. So you're saying that you had a goal of 1,000 by the summer, and right now you're at 650 households, Black and brown, the minority community that's many times that's kind of disenfranchised. And so you've targeted them, and you got 650 households in your webinar training.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you're teaching them?
Basically, you know, how the stock market works, what to look for in a company, you know, letting your money work for you, how to break down stock quotes. Basically, just the basic understanding of how the stock market works, so they won't be afraid. Most people are afraid of it because they don't understand it, and there's so much information out there that they kind of get intimidated. And I'm a teacher, so I'm used to breaking things down to the simplest form. So I don't talk over your head. I break it down so that everybody can understand. So everybody leaves the webinar ready to go ahead and start investing, and they go from there. I teach about saving for your child as well. I told them about what I do for my daughter and how we plan to save $100,000 for her and give it to her on her 21st birthday. You know, tell them about that plan, and, you know, just kind of everything to kind of make your money work for you, to change our aspect, our mind, our perspective. Like, let's stop being just consumers. Let's be owners. And some of the things that we buy.
So Shaughn, how does someone get into to help you to get this additional 350? Is there a site? Is there a link?
Promoting. That's it. Like there's a link. So if you go to investingyourself365.com, you can see a link there. Or if you go to my Instagram, MrThomasInvest, some of our our Instagram too for Investing Yourself 365. You'll see all the flyers, you'll see all the links. You can go ahead and go there, and the sessions are only $10.
Okay.
So wanted to keep it low simply because it's not about the money. I just want people to get the information. So we try to keep the price as low as possible. And actually on June 1st, we have a teen stock market webinar where my students are actually teaching the teenagers and how to invest. And so far, we released the flyer yesterday, and we already have 60 high schoolers or teenagers already signed up for the course.
Oh, that's awesome.
So my alumni are going to be teaching. They're sophomores now, so they're going to be teaching the class.
So is that $10 per webinar, or is it a one-time $10 fee, as many as you get? How many total webinars are there?
The one-time $10 fee. Well, just the one is just the initial. Like again, the 1,000 people is just for people who just want to go ahead and know the understanding. Go ahead and get signed up and take the class so you can be ready to invest. You have a great understanding of how it works. And then eventually we'll have different, sessions after that. But the $10 is just for that one, and you can go ahead and you'll be ready and set. You don't have to take another class.
Wow. That's awesome, Shaughn. You're actually tapping into a need that's many times dispelling a myth, because people assume that all we are in our community are just consumers. And sometimes it's just we don't have the access to the information a lot of times. So, man, that's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Man, God bless you, brother. That's a time. I'm gonna pass the word out, man. And Invest in Yourself 365 or Mr. Thomas Invest on your IG. Okay, amen.
Yes, sir.
Shaughn, tell me one word you would use to describe these financial times. One word.
That's a good one. One word to stressful, or stressful, or perspective. This is about the perspective that you take. So everybody's in different financial situations. So some people who's lost their job. So if you lost your job, you have to figure out, it's a stressful time. You got to figure out where your next check is coming from.
Yeah.
How to pay your rent, how to pay your bills, and the whole stress in itself. But for those of people who have their job still, this can be a beautiful time.
Okay. Talk about that.
It can be a beautiful time for several reasons. Not only do you get to spend more time with your family, you get to know your kids even more, which is something that we can't take for granted. Like, I'm loving it. Also, it's a time to save money. You saving money if you're able to, save money for rent for a couple months, or your mortgage, or whatever it may be. Car note, put all these things off for a couple months, or you're not eating out every day. You're not putting your child in daycare for the most part because they're home with you. So there's a lot of different things that you save money on, and you kind of see that you have a lot more money. So you can use this time to save or pay off debt that's been hard for you to get rid of. Use this time to your advantage. All the extra money that don't just go and spend it, because we're not spending. What are you spending on? We're not going anywhere, right? So go ahead and either save or pay off that debt, because sometimes it's hard for us to get from under that, that pressure of paying all that debt. Now this is the time to actually be smart about your money and do that. So when we come out of COVID, you're fresh. You have less bills and have less stress, and you can go ahead and just start living.
Yeah. So Shaughn, what are you telling people about these stimulus checks as they're receiving the checks?
If you had the stimulus checks, either invest it, or like I said, you can save it or pay off some debt. Like, it's extra money that you weren't expecting. Like, if you need it, like if you truly need it because you lost your job, you have bills or whatever, go ahead and do it. Other than that, pay it off. Act like it didn't even exist. Either put it in the savings or pay off some debt. Like, don't just go and spend it on random item just because you want to shop, just because you want some extra stuff. Go ahead and use it wisely. All right, you want to set yourself up so when this is over, you can live a better life and you don't have as many bills. The goal should be for people to have as least bills as possible, right? So that's how you grow your money. That's how you attain wealth, not having super expenses. So if you're able to eliminate those expenses, eliminate that debt, then you can be more well off.
Shaughn, explain to me the concept of financially playing the long game? Explain that for me. Playing the long game.
Playing the long game, that's something that I talk about a lot. It's really just planning, right? And you have to be strict about your stuff. I'll use my daughter as an example. Like I told you earlier, my plan, me and my wife's plan is to have on my daughter's 21st birthday, we want to give her $100,000, right? So how do we do that? That's Shaughn, that's a whole lot of money. How are we going to do that, right? Well, if you break it down, it's really only $400 a month from when she's born. If you say $400 a month, which is $100 a week from when she's born all the way to when she's 21, that's $100,000. We spend $100 a week on random, on food, on going out, doing whatever, and we don't think twice.
Wingstop,
right? But if you save $100,000, $100. So, and what we do is, when my daughter, as soon as she got her Social Security card, like I guess a month or two after she was born, I opened her an investment account, and I started putting money in her, stock account. So she's 14 months and she owns shares in 10 different companies. For her first birthday, instead of people giving toys, we told people, don't give her any toys because she already has enough. What we want you to do, if you want to, it's up to you. We want you to donate money towards her stock portfolio. So on her first birthday, we raised $1,700, and that went straight into buying stocks for her, right? So every year, that'll be our thing. We're going to raise money to help, buy shares, the gift that keeps on giving. They're going to stop playing with the toys a week from now, right? So let's go ahead and do something that's more viable. So you can get them toys any day. So for me, it's about thinking about what your goal is. Okay, I want to save $50,000. I'm going to save $20,000, $10,000. Okay, now break that down to divided by a year and divided by each check. Figure out how much you need to save and be disciplined enough to do that so that you can reach that goal.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. That is something, I like you saying playing the long game is really about having a plan. You got to have a plan. I always say that if you don't have a plan, your lenders and creditors, they will give you a plan.
Fail to plan, plan to fail.
Yes, that's right. They will give you a plan. It's always advantageous to them when they have their plan. Shaughn, explain to me, some people may have heard this word flying around called recession. Explain what a recession is.
Recession is when it gets kind of real bad. Companies are laying off people. People are not, their business is not doing as well. The economy is doing bad. Basically, the opposite of what our economy has been for the past whenever. So if you think about 2008, we had that going on. So it's kind of that, but worse, and that's kind of where people think that our economy is actually headed. Right. So if that's the case, it's best for us to plan to save as much money as you can. So if things do get hard, you have a cushion. You have your emergency funds. You have everything that you need so that you're not really stressed out as much. You can alleviate some of that stress. So that stimulus money that we're talking about, and save it or pay off some debt so that you don't have to worry about that bill. If you don't have a lot of bills, then when something hits like that, you don't really have to worry about much. Just take care of the immediate. So,
Right.
That's what I would say.
Shaughn, now there's some old heads who are watching this, and they're saying you're a young brother. And so if they were young like you, if they go back 30, 40, 45 years, they do the same thing. But they messed up, and now they're a little bit older. They got a little gray now. What do you tell them? What do you tell them?
As far as what?
As far as how they can begin where they are and try to make some improvements, make some hay on a road there. That's an old statement. Then make some hay on a road they're on. What can they do? Or are they stuck now? What can they do?
It's never too late. All you have to do is start. That's the hardest part. People are like, I don't know where to start. Just start. That's it. Figure out your budget. There are plenty of apps out there if you don't know how to do a budget. You could Google it, or if you need somebody to help you with a budget, just set a budget and be disciplined about that, especially if you're still working. If you're still working, go ahead and just make your plan. There's so much things that we spend our money on that it's not necessarily a need, it's a want, right? So what are some of these wants that I can eliminate, right? What are some of these things that I don't need all the channels, do I? Let me go ahead and, cut some of the cable. I could watch it on YouTube. I could watch it on Hulu, and that may be cheaper. I can, don't go ahead and get a car that's out of your range, right? Go ahead and get a car, that is more beneficial to you, or get a cash car or something like that. Something like, try to create as less bills as possible. It's never too late to start. Maybe you got to sell some things. There's always a way. You just have to be creative, and you have to be willing to be able to do so.
Mm. So, Shaughn, you really talk about lowering your standard of living to really, what was that? I saw a billboard one time that says, act your wage size. The idea being,
that's it.
Yeah, act your wage size.
That's it. Like, why would you, if I know that I'm making a certain amount of number a year, my salary, well, I'm going to get this car that's more than my salary, right? Why am I going to get this exorbitant amount of money, paying this money for this car, this house, this, these clothes? Like, what am I doing it for? Most of us are in these situations because of our wants and our needs and our desires. Yeah. It's not something that we put ourselves in that because we're trying to, maybe we do it because it makes us feel good. Maybe we're trying to show off for somebody. But when you really think of everything in the grand scheme, I don't need this. Why am I going to put myself in debt and pay extra money or pay somebody else with interest, something that I can't afford? If I don't have the money to buy it, don't buy it, right? That's the old ways up there. People, old heads, as you say, used to tell me, if I ain't got it, I can't buy it.
If I ain't got it, I can't get it. If I ain't got it, I can't get it. That's what it is. Yeah, that's right. I can't get it.
Can't get it.
Can't get it. If I ain't got it. Now there's so many creative, tools now which you could act as if you have it, because you got credit lines and credit cards and all this and payday loans and all that kind of stuff. So, but if I ain't got it, I can't get it.
Right.
That's a basic financial. Shaughn, tell me this. You are a young entrepreneur, and thank God for you. Talk about for a minute about the brothers or sisters who want to start their hustle. You said right now is an opportunity while we're quarantined and maybe some have downsized the workforce. There's some things they've had on their heart they want to do. How do they start their own hustle?
Well, first of all, you got to figure out what you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't start a hustle simply because, don't start a business on something that you don't like because you're going to burn out real fast.
Okay.
Right? First, and don't do it strictly for the money. Find out what you love to do and figure out how to get paid for it. Right? If you love to paint, okay, figure out where to sell your paintings. Get a social media page and figure out where you can sell your art. If you like to build cars, if you like to craft, if you like to talk and you have a personality, create a social media page and figure out how to get your followers up and do it from there. So really this is a beautiful time, like I said, if you have a job and everything, this is a beautiful time because a lot of times we are working so hard, we nonstop, that we never get the chance to just sit and reflect. Yeah. A lot of times, man, if I had this much time, if I had enough time, I'll work on this, I'll work on that. Now you have that time. So go ahead and work on your craft. Go ahead and figure out how you can get paid for something that you love to do. All of us have gifts and talents. So try to figure out how to monetize some of those gifts and talents in this time. So use social media, use your contacts. Go ahead and you can read books, look at YouTube, how to figure out, become a master. We all have so much time on our hand right now. So there's no reason that all of us should come out of this the same way. The same way.
Amen. Amen. That's right. We should come out the same way. That's right. So you said something earlier. You said, find what you love and then monetize. I think that's what you said, and monetize it. So find out what you love.
Right.
Okay. Right. What do you love doing? Okay.
And that's hard to do. Yep, that's hard to do at first because we're taught growing up, just to chase the dollar, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not taught to do things that we love. We're taught to go ahead and pick this career because it makes this amount of money. And then when we get in our late 20s, 30s, we figure out we may not like this career, and we were like, oh man, we have all these responsibilities. Now what I really wanted to do, I have a passion for, I can't do because now I have responsibility and I can't not feed my family. Can't pay my bills, right? So now is the time where you can do all of that. So go ahead and figure out what you love to do. And because you love it, it doesn't feel like work. You just having fun. But go ahead and make money off of what you like having fun doing, right? And then it may blow up into something. It may not, but you still enjoy what you're doing.
So what advice would you give for someone making that transition, Shaughn, from working their 9 to 5 or their 8 to 4 to going into, I know my passion? It's a big step of faith. What counsel would you give that man, that woman right now that's thinking about that?
Well, first of all, just know that it's not for everybody.
Okay.
Right? Because if you're used to the 8 to 5, 9 to 5 thing, and used to somebody telling you what to do, and it's only an 8-hour day, then this is not for you. Like if it's your passion, it's something that you really want to take and build a company, you're going to eat, sleep, breathe this. It's 24/7. You're going to wake up, you're going to go to sleep, throughout the day, you're going to think about it if you're trying to get it to that level. And it doesn't happen overnight. It may take 6 months. It may take a year. It may take 3 years. It may take 5 years. All right. And still work for the company that you're working for. But until you have your business takes off to the point where you don't need them anymore, then you go ahead and do it. A lot of people try to just quit their job and start jump head first. No, go ahead and get paid your normal stuff and work on your craft until you have a nice cushion, and then it can sustain itself in your life. But know that it's not easy, and it's not something that you can just pick up and do sometime.
Yeah. It's an all-in proposition. Yeah, you gotta be all in.
All in, you gotta be all in. You gotta be obsessed with it.
Wow. Obsessed with it. Wow, that's awesome, Shaughn. I mean, you're doing a lot of great things right now with this next generation. What's your long-term goal? Where are you trying to go with all this?
It changes all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to walk in my path. The one thing that I want to do, I want to be for education purposes, I want to travel the nation and travel the world, teaching educators how to make learning and experience, how to make learning fun. For my investing stuff, I want them to become nationwide as well, worldwide. Teach financial literacy to minority communities. But essentially, what I want to do is just try to reach my full potential, and whatever that may be. So whatever idea that I have, I write my task down and I try to complete it to make that idea come true, come to fruition. And I just want to impact as many people that I can before my time is gone. Yeah. So my daily goal is to impact lives and make people's lives better in any way that I can. And I want to impact as many people as I can before I die. Yeah. So that's my long-term goal.
That's a long-term
whatever
goal.
That may be.
Yeah. Shaughn, what has been your greatest challenge in trying to help the minority communities? What's been the greatest challenge?
The greatest challenge before this COVID, because now we have to be forced to sit down, so now they listen, right? The greatest challenge is, everybody's on the move. And a lot of us we don't have the information. So when you present certain information to them, it's like new. So they may be like, I'm not used to it. So I may not believe it right away, or just kind of change the mentality of our people as a whole. Try to get away from that materialistic, try to be as minimalist as possible. But that's not really part of our culture. Our culture, we like to show it, flash it. That's what we have, even if we don't have it. You know what I mean? Fake it till you make it. That's what we say. Right? But that kind of philosophy, that mentality, that puts us in situations where we're in debt. And so, my goal is, and what happens, I think if we educate the youth, that'll transform how everything is. right? So we have to kind of reach them while they're young, because a lot of times the adults don't know.
Okay.
And you can't blame them because they weren't taught.
Okay.
So that's probably just the biggest challenge. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge.
So Shaughn, what do you say to the parents? What's your counsel to the parents now?
Just try to, well, first I would say to your kids, don't necessarily push them into a specific career. I would say have them, expose them to everything, right? Even stuff that you may be uncomfortable with. Expose them to science, expose them to math, expose them to different experiences. Try to take them somewhere and see something out there, a regular neighborhood. When you expose kids, they become curious. And when they become curious, that's when they form passions. And when they form passions, maybe they'll be, good, and they'll be able to, come make a career in that. I have a student, his name is Christian. He came to my school program one time in 8th grade, and he kept coming, and he started his clothing line. And within that first year, we was on Great Day Houston. The district did a feature on him, and he had his clothing line, his clothes sold inside the Galleria Mall. And right now he's a freshman. So, right, but he's exposed to the program and different ideas about he could start a company now. He doesn't have to wait, and he's done all this within the year. So now he has his own clothing line, his own brand, and he's doing that. He's 14, 15 years old. Wow. So if he wasn't exposed to things, he wouldn't be able to do that. Right. So many stories like that, right? It's just we have to give kids the opportunity, and don't put our our feelings on our kids. Just because we weren't able to do it doesn't mean that they can.
That's right. Our own limitations or maybe lack of exposure. Because you're right, because for a lot of people, you were taught to go to college, get out of college, find a job that's going to pay you consistently, and then stay on that job 20, 30 years till you retire, so you have a pension and all those kind of things. And that was the model. And so find a good job. When you find a good job, whether it's in the post office or whatever it is, don't ever leave that job. And so now we got a generation coming along now that's saying, you know what? I don't want to work all them years like that. I don't want to wait that long. I want to be able to create something, do something. And that's a whole paradigm shift for parents, because they were raised, go stay there, work up your investments and just, go to work at 8, get off at 4 or 5 and go home and cut your yard, And so it's a whole different day. It's a different day. Yeah, different. So I like what you said there about exposure, even something that you're uncomfortable with. Is just so important. This is personal to me because I have a son, my middle son, who is an engineer, and so he has a great career. But in his heart, he has a passion. He has a passion now, I'm seeing, to really do something in his own business, something different. And so I was thinking about it. I said, now that's what are you doing? I mean, you've arrived. But I'm starting to see is that I've got to cultivate that. With my oldest son also, he's an educator as well, but he's got desires for other things he can do. And so being able to kind of nurture that, as opposed to trying to smother that, is something that we as parents can't get caught up in. So, man, that's awesome, Shaughn. That is because the end goal is just for our kids to be happy, right? So if they have a passion for something, let them pursue that. That may bring happiness. And happiness for some people may not be money. Like you may need money to survive, but that may not be their motivation. Yeah. The motivation may be, I just want to be free. I just want to do this. This makes me happy. Somebody else's motivation is I want to make this much money, as much as I can. Yeah. We have to figure out what our kids' and motivation is and what they really like, and then go from there. Because whatever you do, if you're really good at it, people will pay you for it, no matter what it is. Yeah. Wow. That's a word there. That is so true. But I'm glad you're sharing this, Shaughn. So I wanted to hear from a young brother that's making this deal happen. The Bible talks about the idea that the rich rules over the poor. It says that. And the borrower is a slave to the lender. And so we see that in our times right now, how the rich make all the laws, make all the legislation, And I'm always saying that if they're sending you a check for $2,500, you better believe that they're probably getting a check for $25 million. So it's always they're never going to give you something without them getting something else in return. So there's always inequality.
Correct.
It's always there. And
Correct.
so you're right. So if we handle our monies rightly, then we can make a whole different path for the generation to come. And that's what you're doing. Now, Shaughn, I just thank God for you, man. Thank God for what you're doing and the counsel you've given. So if someone wants to contact you, Shaughn, how can they contact you? Give me an email address for them to contact you. How do they contact you?
Okay, so they could. So two things. One, you can contact me on my Instagram, MrThomasInvest, or if you want to email me, my name is spelled SHAUGHN, and then Thomas, and then the number 1 at gmail.com.
Gotcha. Just say they have some questions, but we're going to certainly get the word out to try to push this number over 1,000. You're talking about the black and the brown before the summer and just what you're doing, man. Thank you for being out there in the fight, be on the front line and bringing in information in an age of misinformation.
Yes.
So I thank you for that, my brother.
That's...
So, man, I'm going to see you down the road, Shaughn. God bless you. God keep you, brothers. Hey, Pastor B's Kitchen Table, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell somebody what you just heard today. Share it with them that we've got a brother online who's telling us that, hey, you know what? We can turn this tide, but we got to turn it together. So thank you. God bless you. God keep you. And I'll see you next Friday right here on Pastor B's Kitchen Table.